Hello everyone, my name is Duoduo Chen. Today I will be presenting a cross-cultural negotiation profile focused on Indian business negotiation approaches. This analysis examines how cultural views in India influence their destructive negotiation practice and provide strategies for effectively engaging with Indian counterparts. India's emerges as a global economic power makes understanding these cultural nuances increasingly viewable for international business professionals. We can see next page. The first phase to look through is the definition phase of negotiating with Indian counterparts. Costa 2023 note relationship serves as foundation of business in India, with negotiators spending significant time establishing personal rapport before negotiating the acceptance of the deal. Indian negotiators perceive information sharing through two cultural constructs, relationships, and respect. Communication is high context and indirect, focused on politeness and the preservation of faith, whereas Western negotiation usually compromise business from personal matters. Indians will relationship building into the whole process. Hierarchy shifts early intercation to a large extent, and senior members attract extra payments. When Indian negotiations appear recent, it is rarely due to lack of interest. More often than not, it is because they need to go back and consult. We can see next page. During the explosion phase, Indians approach solution development through what Srivaja 2040 called juncted a creative, flexible problem-solving approach, varying improvisation and resonance. Decision-making typically following hierarchical pattern, with important matter requiring approval from higher officers who may not be present at the negotiation table. VHP notes that with Indian business culture, group consensus carries significant weight through ultimate decision rests with senior leaders. When disagreeing with purpose, India often uses indirect communication, avoiding outright rejection to maintain humor. And this reflects the cultural preference for relationship preservation over confrontation, even when subordination difference exist. We can see next page. During the exchange phase, interpersons are usually fairly high on their end, with an anticipation of some serious back and forth. As per Cohom 2020, negotiation in India is viewed as a politics process where making consensus is considered a sign of investment in the relationship rather than being a sign of weakness. Their time over notion is often polychronic, meaning that deadlines are less strict and more emphasis is placed on the quality of relationship. India concentrates on developing policies that benefit both. Through regarding details, they may get hard bargaining during negotiations. Contracts are seen as more of a set of flexible guidelines than strict rule by books. Furthermore, the ideas of duty determine the law that one should not engage in a deal that does not serve the best interest of both parties is equality. However, the notion of equality could differ from the Western learning view. We can see next page. Here are strategies for the differentiation phases based on cultural tendencies observed while deal with Indians. Differently, even if the meeting does not ensure knowing the person, it's impolite to give a straightforward business with asking how they doing. It's important to show respect to senior members of the organization. Person information contextually rather than through pure date. Concern about pensions. Important relationships take time and rules by history. Trust being built. Practice indirect communication. Ensure nobody face is redundant or infinite. Since Indians are relationship-oriented, trying getting closer acquaintance outside the scope of meeting or negotiation with meals or cultural events. We can see the next page. In the explosion and exchange phase, it is necessary to appeal to the cooperative forming of the process that is based on mutual gains, offer a flexible and thematic approach that is not necessarily set in store, especially lengthening decision schedule owing to the need to consult with multi-level of accuracy. When in conflict, avoid direct communication and conduct the conflict in front of others. It is common practice to write down deals, but it is important that contracts are viewed by Indians as a base for future relationships. Show commitment to building is long-term and often more viewed than board purpose, which Indian negotiators will always pursue less than their tenure. We can see next page. Key difference is between India and type Western negotiation approaches. While Western negotiation often emphasize efficiency and directness, India prioritize relationship development and cultural communication. Western approach may square personal and business matter, while India's integrate them. And decision-making in Western context may be more decentralized, while India's follow hierarchical partners. Understanding this difference between help prevent misinterpretation. What might seem like influencing to Western often reflect the India emphasis on relationship foundation before transaction. We can see next page. For instance, European-based technology organization contract a monthly charging company in India and realized that the response from the India organization was slow and ambiguous regarding what they perceived as patient issues. This is why they shift to relationship building activity and will as according for the hierarchical approach period after identification cultural views. This ensured cultural sensitivity, enabling the partnership to last for the period of more than 5 years through understanding of Indian negotiation behavior. We can see next page. The negotiation culture in India involves establishing good relationships, repeats for hierarchies, and the negotiation context. Building relationship takes time. These people respect hierarchies, use an indirect approach to communication, and are willing to work for mutual partnerships. Remember that it is not always a lack of interest when the program seems to be stagnant for a while, as it may be in international constellation establishment of conditions that is development through acknowledge and appreciating the cultural difference is fundamental way of energy sustainable and good business relations. We can see the next page. Conclusion. In conclusion, negotiation effectively with India counterparts requires adapting to their relationship focused, hierarchical, and contextually nuanced approach. By applying the strategies outlined today, you can build more productive nuanced approach. By applying the stages outlined today, you can build more productive cross-cultural business relationship that creates satisfactory view for all parties. My analysis has been informed by research from Costa 2023 on cross-cultural negotiation partners. Savanaja work on India business practice. Vajpayee research on India cultural psychology and Kohom studies on India negotiation styles. Thank you for your attention.